Happiness is not found in what we own or achieve, it is discovered in a mind free from burdens. Imagine your mind as a cup. If it is already full, nothing new can enter. But when it is empty, there is space for wisdom, peace, and joy to flow in. Part 1: The Illusion of Possession. We live in a world that constantly tells us that happiness comes from having more wealth, more recognition, more success. From a young age, we are taught to chase after material possessions, believing they will bring us fulfillment. Yet, despite achieving these things, many of us still feel empty inside. Why? Because true happiness does not come from accumulation. It comes from letting go. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. When we become attached to objects, people, or even ideas, we create a dependency on them for our happiness. But everything in life is impermanent. The things we cherish today may be gone tomorrow. The more we cling, the more we set ourselves up for inevitable pain. When those things change or disappear, imagine you are holding a handful of sand. If you squeeze it tightly, trying to keep every grain, it slips through your fingers. But if you keep your hand open, the sand rests gently in your palm. This is how life works. When we try to control and hold on to everything, we experience loss and suffering. But when we learn to accept the impermanence of life, we find peace. Let's consider wealth. Many believe that having a lot of money will bring them happiness. But if that were true, the richest people in the world would be the most joyful. Yet, many of them live in constant stress, fearing loss, always needing more. Their happiness is fragile because it depends on something external, something that can be taken away at any moment. Now, think about your own life. What are you most afraid to lose? Is it your job, your home, your relationships? It's natural to care about these things. But do they define your happiness? The truth is, everything in life is borrowed, even our own bodies. Understanding this is not meant to cause sadness, but to bring freedom. When we let go of the need to possess and control, we open ourselves to a deeper, more lasting happiness. Tonight, as you breathe in, imagine filling yourself with peace. And as you exhale, visualize letting go of one attachment, whether it's a material item, a past regret, or a fear of the future. With every breath, you create space for joy, clarity, and true contentment. Reflect on this. If you had to let go of one attachment today, what would it be? Part 2: Letting go of negative thoughts. Our minds are like vast landscapes, capable of growing beautiful gardens of peace and joy. However, when left unchecked, they can also become overgrown with weeds, negative thoughts, worries, and fears that slowly take root and spread. The Buddha taught that just as we cultivate a garden by removing weeds and nurturing flowers, we must also cultivate our minds by letting go of negativity. and fostering positive, peaceful thoughts. But how do we let go of negative thoughts? After all, they often appear uninvited. One moment, we are at peace, and the next, a memory of the past or a worry about the future takes over our mind, disturbing our sense of calm. The key is awareness. Before we can release something, we must first recognize that we are holding onto it. Imagine carrying a heavy bag everywhere you go. At first, you may not notice the weight, but over time, it begins to exhaust you. Yet, the moment you realize you don't need to carry it anymore, you can simply put it down. The same is true for negative thoughts. We hold onto them past regrets, self-doubt, anger without realizing the burden they place on our hearts. But the moment we become aware, we have the power to release them. One effective way to do this is through breath awareness. Right now, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, imagine releasing a negative thought, allowing it to dissolve like mist in the morning sun. Each breath is an opportunity to clear your mind, to free yourself from unnecessary suffering. Negative thoughts often arise from two places: the past and the future. We dwell on past mistakes, replaying them over and over, as if doing so will somehow change what has already happened. Or we worry about the future, fearing things that may never come to pass. But the Buddha reminds us the only moment we truly have is the present. By anchoring ourselves in the now, we prevent our minds from being trapped in illusions of time. Throughout history, wise teachers have spoken about the power of letting go. There is a famous Zen story about two monks who were traveling together. They came across a river where a woman was struggling to cross. The older monk picked her up and carried her across before continuing on his journey. Hours later, the younger monk, still troubled, said, "Brother, why did you carry that woman? We are monks, we should not touch women." The older monk replied, "I put her down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" How often do we hold onto things long after they have passed? How much mental space do we give to past wounds, to anger, to resentment? The longer we carry these burdens, the heavier they become. As you listen to these words, take a moment to reflect. What thoughts do you carry that no longer serve you? What grudges, fears, or regrets take up space in your heart? With your next breath, imagine setting them down, freeing yourself from their weight. Tonight, let your mind be like a vast, open sky, clear, limitless, and free. When a cloud of negativity appears, simply observe it. Let it drift by, and return to the peaceful sky within you. Ask yourself, what is one negative thought I am ready to release? Part 3: The Power of Simplicity. In a world filled with distractions, we often mistake complexity for success. We fill our schedules with endless tasks, accumulate possessions we don't truly need, and chase after more money, more recognition, more achievements. Yet, despite all of this, we still feel restless. The Buddha taught that true happiness lies not in acquiring more, but in needing less. Simplicity is not a lack, it is a profound abundance of peace. Imagine walking into a cluttered room, filled with objects piled high, leaving barely any space to move. Now, picture a clean, open space, with only a few meaningful things: sunlight streaming in, fresh air flowing freely. Which room feels lighter? Which room allows you to breathe? The same applies to the mind. A cluttered mind, filled with endless worries, desires, and distractions, leaves no room for peace. But when we simplify, when we let go of unnecessary thoughts, we create space for clarity and contentment. The great poet Thoreau once said, "Our life is frittered away by detail." Simplify, simplify. And yet, in today's world, we do the opposite. We overcomplicate our days, thinking that busyness equates to meaning. But busyness is not the same as purpose. Activity is not the same as fulfillment. The more we simplify, the more we return to what truly matters. How do we simplify our minds? Simplicity begins with awareness. What in your life feels heavy? Is it an overwhelming to-do list? Unnecessary commitments? Endless thoughts that keep you awake at night? The first step is recognizing what is essential and what is not. 1. Let go of unnecessary thoughts. Many of our worries never come true. Yet, we spend precious energy thinking about them. Practice replacing unnecessary thoughts with moments of presence. 2. Release the need for approval. So much of our complexity comes from seeking validation. But the truth is, no one else can give you the peace you seek. It must come from within. 3. Embrace minimalism in daily life. This does not mean getting rid of everything you own, but rather, being mindful of what you truly need. When you surround yourself with only what brings peace, your mind follows. 4. Slow down instead of rushing through tasks. Try doing one thing at a time, fully present, whether it's drinking tea, taking a walk, or simply breathing. Allow yourself to experience the moment deeply. The joy of a simple life. Many monks live with only a few possessions: just a robe, a bowl, and a place to sleep. And yet, their hearts are filled with peace. They do not worry about the latest trends, social pressures, or accumulating wealth. Instead, they focus on what is truly valuable: inner stillness, kindness, and wisdom. You do not need to become a monk to embrace simplicity. You can begin right now, wherever you are. Take a deep breath. Feel the air entering your lungs, filling you with life. At this moment, you need nothing more. There is no rush. There is nowhere else to be. Right now, this moment is enough. Reflection. Tonight, before you sleep, ask yourself, what is one thing I can let go of to simplify my life? Perhaps it is an old worry, an unnecessary task, or a physical object you no longer need. Whatever it is, release it with gratitude. Because the lighter you become, the freer you will feel. Part 4: Attachment and Suffering. From the moment we are born, we begin to attach ourselves to people, to objects, to ideas, to identities. We believe that these attachments define us, that they give our lives meaning. Yet, the Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. Why? Because everything in life is impermanent. What we cling to today may disappear tomorrow. And when we resist this truth, we experience pain. The nature of impermanence. Imagine holding a beautiful flower in your hands. You admire its color, its fragrance, its delicate petals. But as time passes, the petals begin to wither, the fragrance fades, and the beauty slowly disappears. If you accept this as the natural cycle of life, you can appreciate the flower while it lasts and let it go when the time comes. But if you cling to it, refusing to accept its impermanence, you will suffer. This is true not only for flowers, but for all aspects of life: relationships, success, youth, even our own health. We fear losing what we love, yet loss is inevitable. Instead of resisting, the Buddha invites us to embrace impermanence. In doing so, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. How attachment creates suffering. 1. Attachment to people. We hold on to relationships, expecting others to always remain the same. But people change, friendships fade, loved ones leave, and clinging to them too tightly only leads to heartbreak. Instead of possessing love, we must learn to appreciate it in the present moment. 2. Attachment to outcomes. We create expectations about how life should unfold. But when reality does not align with these expectations, we feel frustrated, disappointed, even hopeless. The more we release control and trust life's flow, the more peace we find. 3. Attachment to identity. We define ourselves by our roles, our achievements, our past. But who we are is constantly evolving. Holding on to a fixed identity limits growth. The more we let go of labels, the more we discover our true, boundless nature. Letting go. A path to freedom. A Zen master once told a story of two monks traveling together. They came across a river where a woman struggled to cross. The older monk lifted her and carried her across before continuing on his journey. Hours later, the younger monk, troubled, said, "Brother, we are monks. We should not have touched the woman." The older monk replied, "I put her down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" How often do we carry past burdens long after they have passed? How many old wounds, grudges, and regrets weigh us down? True freedom comes not from holding on, but from letting go. A simple practice for letting go. Tonight, take a moment to reflect. What is something you are clinging to that is causing you pain? A past mistake, a lost relationship, an unfulfilled dream? Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and as you exhale, imagine releasing it. Feel the weight lift from your shoulders. Life is like a flowing river, always changing, always moving. When we stop resisting, we learn to flow with it. And in that flow, we find peace. Part 5: Practicing Mindfulness in Daily Life. In our fast-paced world, our minds are constantly pulled in different directions, worrying about the future, regretting the past, checking notifications, planning the next task. But what if we could quiet this mental noise and fully experience the present moment? This is the essence of mindfulness: being aware, being present, and fully engaging with life as it unfolds. The Buddha taught that suffering arises when we are not truly present. Our thoughts race ahead, creating anxieties about things that have not happened, or they dwell on the past, replaying mistakes that can no longer be changed. But life is only ever happening now. When we learn to center ourselves in the present, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and begin to experience true peace. The power of being present. Imagine drinking a cup of tea. If your mind is scattered, you may sip it without really tasting it, thinking instead about what you need to do next. But if you drink it mindfully, noticing the warmth, the aroma, the taste, the way it feels in your hands, you are truly present. This is mindfulness in its simplest form. Mindfulness is not something that requires hours of meditation in a quiet room. It is a practice that can be woven into the smallest moments of your day. The way you walk, the way you eat, the way you breathe, each of these can become an opportunity for mindfulness. Simple ways to cultivate mindfulness. 1. Mindful breathing. Your breath is always with you, a constant anchor to the present. Take a moment to notice it. Inhale deeply, feeling the air fill your lungs. Exhale slowly, letting go of tension. Whenever your mind wanders, gently bring your focus back to your breath. 2. Mindful walking. Instead of rushing from one place to another, try walking slowly and attentively. Feel your feet touching the ground. Notice the movement of your body. With each step, remind yourself, I am here. I am present. 3. Mindful eating. Rather than eating in front of a screen or rushing through meals, take time to savor each bite. Notice the flavors, the textures, the nourishment. Eating mindfully transforms a simple meal into an experience of gratitude. 4. Mindful listening. Often, when we listen, we are already preparing our response. Try listening with full attention, without judgment or interruption. This practice deepens relationships and helps us connect more genuinely with others. Overcoming restlessness and distractions. In the modern world, we are constantly bombarded with distractions. Phones, emails, social media. They pull our attention away from the richness of the present moment. But mindfulness is a choice. Each time you catch yourself lost in thought, gently guide yourself back to now. There is a Zen saying: when eating, eat. When walking, walk. In other words, do one thing at a time, and do it with full presence. Reflection exercise. Before you sleep tonight, take a moment to simply breathe. Close your eyes, inhale deeply, and feel the sensation of the breath entering and leaving your body. Let go of the past. Release the future, and allow yourself to rest fully in this moment. Happiness is not found in yesterday or tomorrow. It exists here, in the simple act of being present. What is one moment today that you can fully experience with mindfulness? Part 6: Embracing Change. Change is one of the greatest sources of fear and suffering in life. We grow attached to people, circumstances, and identities, hoping they will stay the same forever. But the Buddha taught that impermanence is the nature of all things. Everything is constantly shifting, evolving, and transforming. When we resist change, we suffer. But when we learn to embrace it, we find freedom. Why do we fear change? We fear change because it brings uncertainty. The mind craves stability, predictability, and control. But life does not follow our expectations. A job may be lost. A relationship may end. Health may decline. These are natural parts of existence. Yet, we react with resistance, clinging to what is familiar, even if it no longer serves us. Think about a river. The water never stays still. It flows, sometimes gently, sometimes fiercely. If we try to grasp the water, it slips through our fingers. But if we allow ourselves to flow with it, we move effortlessly with the current of life. The wisdom of impermanence. The Buddha often used the example of a sand mandala. Monks spend days, even weeks, creating intricate patterns with colored sand, only to brush it away once it is completed. This is not an act of destruction, it is an acceptance of impermanence. It is a reminder that everything we create, everything we build, will eventually fade, and that is okay. When we embrace impermanence, we stop fearing loss. Instead, we appreciate the beauty of each moment, knowing that it is fleeting. We let go, not with sadness, but with gratitude. How to accept change with grace. 1. Recognize that change is inevitable. No matter how much we resist, life will continue to evolve. The sooner we accept this, the sooner we can find peace. 2. Trust that every change brings growth. Even painful changes carry lessons. What seems like an ending is often the beginning of something new. 3. Stay present. Anxiety about change often comes from imagining worst-case scenarios. Instead of worrying about the future, focus on what is happening right now. 4. Let go of old identities. Who you were yesterday is not who you are today. Allow yourself to evolve without clinging to past versions of yourself. A simple exercise for embracing change. Tonight, reflect on a change you have been resisting. Maybe it is a new phase of life, a shift in relationships, or an internal transformation. Instead of fearing it, try welcoming it. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and say to yourself, I trust in the flow of life. I release resistance. I welcome change. Change is not something to fear, it is the very nature of existence. And within change lies endless possibilities for growth, renewal, and deeper happiness. What is one change in your life that you can embrace today? Part 7: Silence as a Teacher. In a world filled with constant noise, we often overlook the profound wisdom found in silence. Our days are filled with conversations, notifications, and distractions, leaving little space for stillness. But the Buddha taught that silence is not empty, it is full of answers. When we learn to sit in silence, we begin to hear the whispers of truth that are always present, but often drowned out by the noise of daily life. Why are we afraid of silence? For many, silence can feel uncomfortable, even unsettling. The moment external noise disappears, internal noise rises, unresolved emotions, worries, and thoughts we have been avoiding. This is why people constantly seek distraction. We turn on music, check our phones, engage in small talk, not always because we enjoy it, but because we fear facing ourselves. Yet, silence is not something to escape. It is something to embrace. It is within silence that we come to understand ourselves, to observe our thoughts without judgment, and to discover the stillness beneath the mind's endless chatter. The power of silence in spiritual practice. The Buddha spent years in deep meditation, seeking enlightenment, not through words, but through inner stillness. Monks and sages throughout history have retreated into silence, not as an escape from the world, but as a way to see it more clearly. When we are silent, we 1. Deepen our awareness. We notice the subtleties of life, the way the wind moves the leaves, the rhythm of our own breath. 2. Calm the mind. Thoughts may arise, but without constant external stimulation, they begin to settle naturally. 3. Connect with wisdom. Answers often come not from thinking harder, but from allowing space for clarity to emerge. Practicing silence in daily life. You do not need to escape to a monastery to experience the benefits of silence. Here are simple ways to bring silence into your daily routine. 1. Start the day in stillness before checking your phone or engaging with the world. Spend a few minutes in quiet contemplation. 2. Eat in silence instead of eating while watching TV or scrolling. Try experiencing your meal fully, savoring each bite. 3. Take silent walks. Walk without music or conversation. Listen to the sounds of nature. Feel your footsteps on the ground. 4. Pause before speaking. Not every thought needs to be voiced immediately. Silence allows you to respond with wisdom instead of reaction. 5. Create a space for silence. Designate a quiet corner in your home where you can sit, breathe, and simply be. Reflection exercise. Tonight, before you sleep, take 5 minutes to sit in complete silence. No music, no distractions, just you and your breath. Observe what arises without judgment. If thoughts come, let them pass like clouds drifting across the sky. Silence is not the absence of something, it is the presence of everything. Within it, you will find clarity, peace, and a deeper understanding of yourself. What wisdom is waiting for you in the quiet? Part 8: The Art of Gratitude. In our constant search for happiness, we often overlook the simplest yet most powerful key to contentment: gratitude. The Buddha taught that suffering arises when we focus on what we lack. But peace comes when we appreciate what we already have. Gratitude shifts our perspective, turning ordinary moments into profound blessings. Why do we struggle with gratitude? The mind has a natural tendency to focus on what is missing, what is wrong, or what needs to be fixed. We compare ourselves to others, always chasing something better: a better job, a better home, a better life. But this cycle of wanting never ends. Even when we achieve what we desire, new cravings arise, keeping us in a state of dissatisfaction. The truth is, happiness does not come from having more, it comes from appreciating what is already here. When we cultivate gratitude, we break free from the endless cycle of wanting and step into a space of peace. The power of gratitude. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it is a practice. When we consciously focus on what we are thankful for, we begin to see the beauty in everything. The warmth of the sun on our skin, the sound of laughter, the breath that sustains us. These are all miracles we often take for granted. Studies have shown that practicing gratitude can 1. Reduce stress and anxiety by focusing on abundance rather than lack. The mind becomes calmer. 2. Improve relationships. Expressing gratitude strengthens connections with others. 3. Increase happiness. A grateful heart finds joy in even the simplest moments. How to cultivate gratitude daily. 1. Morning reflection. Before starting your day, think of 3 things you are grateful for. It could be as simple as waking up, having a bed to sleep in, or hearing a bird's song outside your window. 2. Gratitude journal. At the end of each day, write down 1 or 2 things that brought you joy. This shifts your focus from what went wrong to what went right. 3. Express appreciation. Tell someone you are grateful for them. A simple thank you can brighten both their day and yours. 4. Mindful gratitude. When eating, walking, or even breathing, take a moment to appreciate the experience fully. 5. Turn challenges into gratitude instead of focusing on difficulties. Ask, what lesson is this teaching me? How is this experience helping me grow? Gratitude in spiritual practice. In Buddhist tradition, monks receive food through alms given by the community. Each meal, no matter how simple, is received with deep gratitude. This practice reminds them that everything in life is a gift, not something to be taken for granted, but something to be cherished. You do not need to be a monk to live with gratitude. Right now, take a deep breath. Feel the air entering your lungs. This breath is a gift. This moment is a gift. Life itself is a gift. Reflection exercise. Tonight, before you sleep, place your hand over your heart and silently say, "Thank you. Thank you for this day, for this body, for this breath. Thank you for the small moments of joy, for the challenges that helped you grow, for the love that surrounds you in ways seen and unseen. What is one thing you are grateful for right now?" Part 9 Conclusion. The path to lasting happiness. Happiness is not something to be found in the future, nor is it something that depends on external circumstances. It is not hidden in wealth, achievements, or the approval of others. True happiness is a state of mind that arises when we learn to let go, be present, and embrace life as it is. The Buddha taught that the key to lasting happiness is not in gaining more, but in needing less. What prevents us from being happy? Many of us believe that we will be happy when we get a promotion, when we meet the right person, when we achieve a certain goal. But happiness is never found in the when. Every time we reach one milestone, the mind creates a new desire, keeping us trapped in an endless cycle of seeking. The truth is, happiness is not a destination, it is a way of being. It is found in the present moment, in the simple joys of daily life, in the ability to appreciate what is instead of longing for what is not. The 3 pillars of lasting happiness. To cultivate deep and lasting happiness, we must practice 3 things. 1. Letting go. Release attachments to things, people, and expectations. The more lightly you hold onto life, the freer you become. 2. Being present. Stop chasing the future or reliving the past. True peace exists only in this moment. 3. Gratitude. Focus on what you have rather than what you lack. Appreciation transforms even the simplest moments into sources of joy. A simple practice for lasting happiness. Every morning, before you begin your day, take a moment to reflect on these 3 questions. What can I let go of today? A worry, an expectation, a regret. How can I be more present? Breathing deeply, slowing down, appreciating each moment. What am I grateful for? A person, an experience, even something as simple as the warmth of the sun. When practiced daily, these small shifts in awareness can completely transform the way you experience life. Happiness is already here. Imagine you are holding a glass of water. If the water is still, you can see your reflection clearly. But if you shake it, the image becomes distorted. This is how the mind works. When filled with desires, worries, and distractions, we cannot see clearly. But when we allow the mind to settle, when we empty it of unnecessary thoughts, peace and happiness naturally arise. Tonight, as you close your eyes, remind yourself, I do not need to chase happiness. It is already within me. With every breath, with every moment of presence, you are walking the path of true peace. Ask yourself, how can I choose happiness right now, in this very moment? Part 10: Walking the Path, a lifelong practice. The journey to happiness is not a single step, nor is it a destination we reach and remain in forever. It is a continuous practice, a way of living that we cultivate moment by moment. The Buddha did not promise instant enlightenment. Showed a path, a way of being that leads to peace, wisdom, and joy. Why is consistency important? Many people seek happiness but give up when they face difficulties. They meditate for a day, practice mindfulness for a week, and then return to old habits. But just like a seed that needs water and sunlight to grow, inner peace requires consistent nurturing. Imagine a glass of muddy water. If you leave it still, over time, the dirt settles and the water becomes clear. But if you keep shaking it, the water remains cloudy. The mind works the same way. If we keep stirring it with worries, desires, and distractions, we never experience true clarity. But if we allow it to settle through mindfulness, meditation, and letting go, begin to see things as they truly are. Daily practices for a peaceful life. To walk the path of happiness, incorporate small, mindful habits into your daily life. 1. Start your day with stillness before checking your phone or rushing into tasks. Take 5 minutes to simply breathe and be present. 2. Simplify your life. Let go of unnecessary worries, possessions, and distractions. Focus only on what truly matters. 3. Let go of expectations. Accept life as it unfolds, rather than resisting what you cannot control. 4. Practice compassion, not just for others, but for yourself. Be gentle with your mistakes and patient with your growth. 5. Reflect before sleep. Take a moment each night to appreciate one good thing that happened that day, no matter how small. The ripple effect of inner peace. When you cultivate peace within yourself, it naturally extends to those around you. A calm person influences others without saying a word. Your presence becomes a source of comfort, your actions more thoughtful, your words kinder. By choosing peace, you become a beacon of light in a world that often feels chaotic. Final reflection. Happiness is not something we find, it is something we create. It is found in simplicity, in presence, in gratitude. It is in the small, mindful choices we make every day. Tonight, as you take a deep breath and close your eyes, remember, You already have everything you need to be happy. Let go, be present, and trust the path. What is one step you can take today to walk the path of peace? Conclusion: the journey within. Happiness is not something to be chased, it is something to be cultivated within. The Buddha taught that suffering arises from attachment, from clinging to things, people, and desires that are constantly changing. But when we learn to let go, to be present, and to appreciate life as it is, we uncover a deeper, more lasting joy. Throughout this journey, we have explored the power of letting go, mindfulness, simplicity, gratitude, and inner peace. These are not just ideas. They are practices, daily choices that shape the way we experience life. True happiness does not come from external success or material wealth. It comes from a peaceful mind, an open heart, and the ability to find joy in the present moment. The path forward. This is not the end of the journey, it is just the beginning. Happiness is not a final destination but a continuous practice. Every day, we are given the opportunity to let go of what no longer serves us. Be present with what is. Cultivate gratitude for the simple moments. As you close your eyes tonight, take a deep breath and remind yourself, I do not need to seek happiness. It is already within me. May you walk this path with peace, wisdom, and a heart free from burdens. The journey to happiness is not found in the future, it is here, now, in this very breath. What is one small step you can take today to embrace true happiness?